call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking gambling degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
Well, hello you degenerate fucks, and welcome to The Degenerate Gambler. It is Thursday the 10th of March. Just here with another episode, looking back at last week, looking ahead to the fixtures this week, also a bit of a Cheltenham preview. So let's get straight into it. So last week's bets on Saturday, only Bournemouth beat the main bet. They were winning 1-0 but ended up losing 2-1. So I'll run through that quickly. So the bet was Bournemouth who were beat, Oxford won, Portsmouth won, Wigan won, and Grimsby won. Grimsby actually scored like a 93rd minute winner. So yeah, I did fancy Grimsby to get that because they were all over. I can't remember who it was they were playing, but they were all over them. But Bournemouth not being able to hold out, done the bet. Next on to the overs. The overs at 4 up, but the other game was 1-0 and it was a late goal, so not great. But Norwich Brentford was up, which was a great price, 13-10. Middlesbrough Luton was up, Crewe Wycombe was up, Maidenhead Hungerford was up, and then Reading Millwall beat it. So that was about it. The small £2 bet that I did with on the outside prices was up. Well, sorry, two was up. So Newcastle was up, Swindon was up, but Bristol Rovers were hammered. But I am going to keep doing that because there are shocks out there. The only thing is, you know, I was a bit gutted that I didn't have just Newcastle in my normal bet because I did fancy them. But then you're taking a big risk of ruining the whole bet with a big price. And I do think, looking at the Newcastle's midweek fixture, they're still highly priced. But I do think the bookies are going to start cutting the prices on Newcastle because they're in great form. They're sitting like second in the Premier League in last 5 game form. So I do think that the bookies will catch on. You know, you've never seen a poor bookie, so they'll catch on to form and they'll stop overpricing them because they have been overpriced the last 3 or 4 weeks. My evening bet was very unlucky. So I had Liverpool to score in both halves against West Ham. They obviously scored in the first half but couldn't score in the second half. Stockport to score more than 1.5 goals, they did. Stuttgart and Gladbach both to score in overs, that was up. Valencia to win and Lazio both to score. So yeah, it was tough to take that one because Liverpool should have scored in the second half. They had loads of chances. So that was Saturday. I'll do Sunday quickly before I go over the favourites. So on Sunday, I did a small £2 bet on a 13-fold of over 1.5. I got 10 out of 13 up. I also did a bet. I did 2 other bets. I did Steaua Bucharest to win. They did. Basel over 2.5. It was 2-0. Draw in the City and the United game. Wasn't. Looked good for a minute, but no. Sorry, let me fix the mic. Sorry. Yeah, so a draw in the United match. They were obviously hammered, but you know they did get it back to 1 each. So there was a slight chance. Arsenal to win, which they did. Celtic to win, which they did. So that was beat by 2. I also did a bit of a strange bet, which was corners. Out of the 5, 3 were up. So the Juventus over 5 corners was beat. Betis match over 8 corners was up. City over 11 corners was up. The Cologne match over 10 was nowhere near. There was about 4 corners in the whole match. And then Madrid to have more than 4 corners was up. Interesting bet. That's something that I might look at doing. It's a hard bet to follow because obviously you can't get notifications on corners. But it's something that I would look at in the future. So that's that. Let's look at favourites. So, oh god, everything's malfunctioning today. My laptop's fell. How long? There we go. So, Premier League. There was 9 games over the weekend. There wasn't a single draw in the Premier League. So, oh, that's something playing on my phone. Everything all technical difficulties today. So there was 9 Premier League games. There wasn't a single draw, which is, you know, unlikely, but it happened. There was 8 favourites and 1 outsider. In the Championship, again, no draws. There was 6 favourites and 4 outsiders, which, that's the last 2 weeks. The Championship's had a decent amount of favourites won, so maybe it's getting to that point of the season where the good teams are getting better and the bad teams are getting worse. So, form and things like that are starting to take a big part in the games, whereas before any team can beat any team, and that's still the case, but it seems to be happening less and less where the outsiders are getting results, because, as I say, 6 winners, 6 favourites won, and 4 outsiders, no draws. So that's not bad. In League 1 was flying. There was 12 games, 8 favourites, 2 draws, 2 outsiders. I'll have a look. Let's see what the outsiders were in that league. So Lincoln beat Sheffield Wednesday. They were 11-4. And MK Dons beat Rotherham. They were 11-4. So that was your 2 outsiders. I'll look at the Championship ones just to have a look at that. So Birmingham beat Bristol City. They were 13-5. Preston beat Bournemouth. They were 9-4. Cardiff beat QPR. They were 13-5. Millwall, no, it's not a favourite. Blackpool beat Stoke. They were 16-5. So that's your outsiders there. And then League 2, only 4 favourites won, 4 draws and 3 outsiders. That's out of 11 games. So I'll look at the let's see the draws, who they were. So Barrow and Walsall drew. Crawley Scunthorpe drew. Leyton Orient Stevenage drew. Salford and Forest Green drew. So that's a lot of draws. 4 draws out of 11 games is pretty big, and only 4 favourites winning. So it was very tight. That 4 favourites, 4 draws, 3 outsiders. National League, again another strange one. The stats have been strange this week. So 10 games, 5 favourites, 5 draws, no outsider won. Which, good that no outsider won, whatever. But 5 draws, half the games in the league draws. Unless you pick draws, that's going to beat a lot of bets. So in total, that worked out at 31 favourites, 11 draws, and 10 outsiders. So again, 31 from 54 is well over 50%. I think you're talking somewhere in the 55-57% there. So that is good, obviously, but yeah, definitely still some strange results. So quickly, I'll get on to this week. So I've done it again, whereas the week before Portsmouth beat me and I put them in the bet the next week. Well, this week I've done the same. The team that beat me last week, Bournemouth, is my first pick this week. They're home to Derby and they're 8-15. That is 1.53 in decimal. Now, the reason I've done this, obviously there's form and all that there. Derby's in decent form, but Derby's away record is very, very poor. Recently on for the season. So Bournemouth are currently sitting second. Derby's in the bottom 3. Obviously they got points deducted, so they wouldn't be there if they didn't. But form, Bournemouth have 10 points, Derby have 6, which is not bad for a team that low. But if you look at Derby's away form, they've only got 12 points all season, and they have lost all 5 of their previous. In fact, they've lost 6 in a row away from home. Bournemouth's home record is a bit jittery. We know they had that bit of a dip there a few weeks ago. But their last 3 home games, they drew with Peterborough, which was a bad result. But they won the 2 before that. They beat Birmingham and they beat Stoke. So my thinking on that one is just, they've had a poor result there last week. They'll want to overturn that and keep pushing for promotion. So that's the first one. The next one is League 2, and it's Oxford. Oxford been in pretty good form recently, for overs and for wins. But Oxford plays Shrewsbury. Away to Shrewsbury. Oxford are currently 4th in the league. Shrewsbury 17th. Form, Oxford have 12 points from 15. Shrewsbury only 5. In the recent form, Shrewsbury's home record, 2 draws, 2 defeats and a win. The win was 5 games ago against Sheffield Wednesday, so they haven't won in 4 at home. Oxford away, the record isn't perfect. It's not amazing. I mean, they lost to Portsmouth, their last away game, but again, as I backed Portsmouth the last couple of weeks, Portsmouth are in good form. They won the two before that. They lost the one before that and drew the one before that. So patchy, but a team that should be beaten, given that they're in the playoff spots. Next is... Where am I here? Sorry. Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday are at home to Cambridge. Sorry, the price on that Oxford one, was 23-20, which is 2.15. So pretty big price on that one. Moving on to Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday are at home to Cambridge. Sheffield Wednesday currently 8th, Cambridge 13th. In the form, Cambridge 9 points. Sheffield Wednesday 9 points, Cambridge 7. So close, but in the home form, Sheffield Wednesday have won 4 out of 5. The loss against Rotherham was the only game they lost in that 5 at home, which Rotherham are up at top of the league. Cambridge, 1 draw in their last 5 at home. So poor away form. The price on that one is 8-13, which is 1.62. Next, we move on to Brackley Town. Brackley are actually sitting second in the National League North. In the last 5 games of 13 points, scored 10, conceded none. Telford, who they play, have got 5 points in that time. And then let's look at the recent form. So Brackley have won 4 and draw 1 at home in the last 5. Telford 3 draws, 2 defeats in the last 5. So again, another poor away record. And the price on that one is the same as the last one. It's 8-13, which is 1.62. So then lastly, I move on. Again, I found it hard to pick a bet with there being only 3 Premier League games. I was struggling a bit for the 5th team, so I had to leave the UK. I looked at a few teams, but I looked at, a few different leagues, but I settled on Juventus. And Juventus are away to Sampdoria. Juventus currently 4th in the league against 15th, which is Sampdoria. Juventus are top on form, joint top, 11 points from 15. Sampdoria have only got 6 points. Juventus away from home, so they had 3 draws, but they've won the last 2 away, so hitting a bit of away form. Sampdoria, again, now this is the tight part of this. Sampdoria have actually won their last 2 at home. But Juventus have beat them the last 2 times they've played them away from home, so that was my thinking there. Even though Sampdoria are in good form away from home, or at home, Juventus seem to beat them. But also as well as that, if Sampdoria's recent form in general, they lost their last 2 matches that were both away from home. One was against Atalanta, one against Udinese, so they're on a 2-game losing streak. They're both away from home, but as I say, they've won their last 2 home games. So for me, that I just think Juventus being on a hot streak, playing well, they should win. The price on that one is 13-20, which is 1.65. So in total, that bet comes to around 13-1. So a tenner on that's going to give you around about 140. So that's that. Then next we go on to the overs. I'll just run through these quickly, as you know how I do my form, which is United vs Spurs 8-11. That's 1.73. Ipswich Portsmouth 11-10, 2.1. Swindon Oldham 10-11, 1.91. Blackpool versus Swindon. Blackpool versus Swindon. No, Blackpool versus Swansea. 11-10. That's 2.1. And Gloucester versus Gateshead at 9-10, which is 1.9. In total, I didn't total that one up. I think that one will be about 21 or 22-1. So before I quickly go on to next week, and also we talk about Cheltenham, I just want to say I am doing another £2 bet. This week it's going to be Burnley to win at 11-4, Preston to win at 2-1, and Spurs to beat United at 23-10. So again, look, I've looked at the form and stuff as well, but to me this is, I'm just throwing a couple of pound at something that, is unlikely to happen as far as the bookies are concerned. It actually comes to 37-1 off a treble. That's a huge price. So it's just, look, don't follow this if you you're worried about your expenditure and how much money you're spending. For me, I'll probably use a free bet or money that I've made this week. I've made, I think, somewhere in the region of £8 on free spins from William Hill. So for me, it's not me losing money. I'm happy to do it. It's a wee interest, but if you are budgeting on your bets, this probably isn't the bet to follow. But as I say, I'm going to continue doing it for a couple of weeks and see how it goes. So before going to what's the fixtures next week is obviously Cheltenham, which starts on Tuesday. If you followed me last year, you'll know that I basically will do a £1 lucky 15 every day, or maybe a 50p each way lucky 15, depending on the horses I pick via price. But that's the way I do it. Because if one or two beats, you're still in with a shout. I will probably be doing it in a local bookmaker in the shop. And this is something that maybe not a lot of people know, but it's true, is that most local bookmakers, or at least in-shop bookmakers, will, if you get one winner on lucky 15, some give double, some pay treble. So if you were to pick, say, a 10 to 1 winner in a £1 treble, or a £1 lucky 15, they will actually give you 20 or 30 to 1 on that £1 lucky 15. So yeah, sometimes it pays to use the shop. They don't do that online, but bookmakers who offer it in shop even don't offer it online, so it's just an in-shop kind of offer. My local bookmaker offers it, so I will probably pick my horses in the shop every day, unless I can't get to the bookmakers, but I should be able to every day next week. So that's my plan for next week, is just £1 lucky 15 Tuesday to Friday. Gives me an interest, gives me something to watch the racing for. I do enjoy Cheltenham, so yeah, so that's basically that. So next week in football, we have Tuesday night, there is 5 championship games, 7 League 1 games. There's a full fixture list in League 2 of 12 games, 4 in the National League, the full fixture list in the French League 1. There's a Northern Ireland Premier League, and there's 2 Champions League games, which are Ajax vs Benfica and United vs Atletico. So decent games on that night. On Wednesday, there is 2 Premier League games, 7 Championship games, 2 Champions League games, which are Juventus Villarreal and Lille Chelsea. There's also a Bundesliga game. And then on Thursday, there's 1 Premier League game, 7 Europa League games, and 8 Europa Conference games. So we're back to a full week of fixtures. A full fixture list, so I'll probably do a bet probably every night. I've budgeted, as I say, for a £15 lucky 15 every day, and I'll have to budget for that too. So that's basically everything for today. Just before I do go, a couple of things. This is actually my 100th episode, so thank you if you've been listening for that long. I say 100 episodes. I did delete a lot of episodes because there were the Monday reviews that I'd done away with. I stopped doing the Monday reviews. I just do it all in one episode now. But this is actually the 100th episode that I've put out. So it's a bit of a milestone. So hope you enjoy the podcast. If you do leave a review on Apple, or I think Spotify do reviews as well, would be nice. And also, just want to apologise for the technical difficulties today. So I've had my mic fail, my laptop fail, something started playing on my phone. So something to mark the 100th episode anyway. But that just leaves me to say, if you are doing a bet this week, good luck and happy punting.
Here, get the fuck out of here. Here, thanks. Let me find out you fucked up. I'll leave you wherever I find you.